I am Jessica Lahr, and welcome to another edition of FLX Weekly here at FingerLakes1.com on Wednesday, October 12th, 2016. I'm joined here in studio with FingerLakes1.com President Jim Sinicropi.
That's me.
Lead news editor Josh Durso.
That's me.
And network administrator Jessamy Uticone. And we're having some technical difficulties.
We're getting it under
Bear
control.
with us.
Got it. I fixed it.
We're live.
We got it. We're live TV here. In the next half hour, we'll be talking about this week's top local news, your best bet weekend events here in the region, the weekend weather outlook, sports lineup, and more, including our top local photos from the past week. Speaking of the past week.
You did the wine trails this past week.
I did.
And was it fun?
It was fun. My neighbors invited
Saturday or
us.
Sunday?
We ended up going Sunday because Monday the kids had off from school. They had off from work. So we went with, it was supposed to be 18 people. It ended up being 16, but we stopped at 9 wineries.
Wow.
There we are.
With your sweet I Love the FLX shirts on?
Yeah, isn't that great? I heart Finger Lakes shirts.
That's
festive.
Yeah.
the Bellhurst?
That's the Bellhurst. So that was actually our last stop. So
Oh, you're both standing.
we're still doing good. Still standing strong.
Wow.
Yeah, there's one of my dear friends, Ariel DeVito. She's a personal trainer out of Geneva, New York.
And that's at
And
the
her
Bellhurst as
husband.
well?
That's at the Bellhurst. We love it there. So close to home. That was at Villa Belangio, which is one of my very favorite wineries. It's got some really interesting history too, but it's on the west, towards the south end side of Seneca Lake.
Oh, the hearts and the shirts have the lakes in there too.
Yeah,
Nice.
isn't that cool?
Where can you get a shirt like that?
It's iheartfingerlakes.com.
Wow.
Yeah. That was at, I don't even remember the name of that winery. I didn't like any of the wine. It was too sweet for me. But there's the group. I'm not in that one. That was
Shots
the group.
fired.
And this is one of my other favorite wineries, Magnus Ridge. So it was great. They do like a wine and cheese pairing there, which is so much fun and delicious. They had a wasabi cheese that was amazing. Who would think, right?
Yeah,
So-
wasabi cheese. I've had that before.
I'd never
Was it
had
green?
No, it wasn't green. And I don't know. It was amazing. So I enjoyed it. I liked it. We had a great time.
There's no better time of the year to hit the wine trails than this time of year.
I know. And it was a perfect fall day. It was chilly, so I had my jacket on, my boots. It was perfect. And the leaves are now starting to change colors, as I'm sure you've all noticed. So it was perfect. But enough about the wine trail. What's going on in the news, Josh?
Enough of that. Let's get to the depressing stuff. 2 school buses were involved in separate incidents this week in the Finger Lakes. 9 students were hospitalized on Tuesday after a bus carrying the SOTUS volleyball team crashed on Route 441 in Warsaw. The bus collided with a sedan shortly before 4 p.m. Reports indicate that the injuries were not serious. The driver of the sedan had the most serious injuries of those minor injuries.
All right,
But no further details. The pictures didn't look like it was too serious, or the bus didn't look like it was damaged too badly. But a separate incident down in the Odessa-Montour Falls area, a bus caught fire Tuesday morning. Emergency personnel was dispatched to Steam Mill Road in the town of Catherine for the report of a bus fire. First responders say that the bus was well involved by the time they arrived, but everyone had been evacuated from the bus. The driver, and then I believe it was 3 students. Really good to hear that all of the children and all of the people involved in those incidents were not hurt seriously.
Yeah, that's good. Sheesh.
Another piece of interesting news, Wings Over Ithaca, popular restaurant down in the Ithaca area, owner charged with tax fraud. The New York State Department of Taxation and Finance reported on Tuesday that Bruce McPherson had underpaid his sales taxes by at least $221,000. He was charged with second-degree grand larceny, second-degree criminal tax fraud, 4 counts of third-degree criminal tax fraud, and 20 counts of first-degree offering a false instrument for filing, all felonies. And for those who have been keeping score, that's 26 total felonies.
How much money totally did he withheld in payments?
At least. Now, the way they worded it is at least, and from my understanding, the investigation is still ongoing. So it's at least $221,000 that was underpaid between December of 2010 and May of 2015. He could face at least 15 years in prison if convicted on said charges. Not a good situation.
How many years worth of tax withheld is that? Did they say that?
5 years.
So that's
December 2010 to May 2015.
So he's paying like $40,000 a year in sales tax.
Yep.
Here's
the question then. As a small business owner, how do you, when you see other businesses cheating the system while you're paying your fair share, how do you feel like the reaction is there?
That's great.
My reaction is that I think that all these businesses pay too much sales tax, because you got to understand that he's paying his employees, they're paying tax, payroll tax, they're paying tax out of their earnings, and then if they own property, they're paying property tax as well. We're getting taxed over and over and over again. It's no excuse for not paying your fair due, but if you wonder why businesses have such a tough time making it in a restaurant like that, $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
So my take is I'm not championing him but you know, it's like, geez, it's every time I see something like that, I'm like, what a tax burden we have in this state.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. That's too bad.
Another piece of news broke last week, came to a somewhat of a conclusion today. An 18-year-old was arrested after the October 6th lockdown at Lyons Central School. On Tuesday, October 6th, the Lyons Central School District was placed under lockdown procedure due to a possible threat. Scattered reports of various threats were shared on Facebook and social media, but a majority of the details were unclear. This morning, though, Wayne County Sheriff Barry Virts announced that an arrest had been made. Michael J. Aman was arrested and charged with making a terroristic threat and falsely reporting an incident in the third degree. Virts says the Aman sent a message to the Lyons Public Library making a threat against the high school. Unclear what that threat was. He did tell me, though, that they'll be holding a press conference this afternoon at 4 o'clock, possibly going to shed a little more light on what exactly had happened, because some of the reports had indicated that two separate schools had been threatened, but this particular portion of it would appear as just the high school was.
Yeah, when something like that happens, a lot of resources get dispatched.
It was state police, sheriffs, local, whole nine was dispatched. So expensive stuff, and just sort of looking at the stories as a whole, a lot of incidents involving schools, kids, buses,
I know, my
etc.
goodness.
And we haven't even gotten to winter yet, when buses tend to have a little more issue. Hug your kids tonight.
All right, I will do.
Aww.
I will do, Josh.
Do we have anything less depressing to talk about today, guys?
Well, let's take a look at the weather,
It's been
shall
nice
we?
out.
There we
Let's
go.
do it.
Right.
The
okay.
sun.
Okay. Well, we have a classic autumn Finger Lakes weekend on tap after a bit of rain on Thursday. So Friday will be sunny and cool with a high in the mid-50s. Look out for potential frost overnight, though, into Saturday morning, as the low will dip into the mid to low 30s, which is hard to believe, but yep, we're there. Saturday will be the pick of the weekend with sunny skies and a high in the mid-60s. Sunday will be partly sunny with a high in the upper 60s, but there will be a 30% chance of an afternoon shower.
70% chance of no afternoon shower, though.
That's right. So all in all, a great weekend in October. As always, check out the latest local forecast and live radar at our local weather center at fingerlakes1.com.
That's an idyllic forecast, if you ask me. Nice and cool, and nice during the days, and
fantastic this week.
Yep.
How long can we make it last?
Well, that's the
we
question.
have no control. we have no say.
So embrace it while it's here, right?
Right.
All right. Well, what's going on this weekend, Jessamy? Great weather.
Yeah. If you want to get out in the great weather, you can spend the afternoon in good company at Heron Hills Tasting Room at Bristol on Saturday. October 15th from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. for the harvest celebration at Ingle Vineyard overlooking Canandaigua Lake. The family-friendly event will feature live music by Big Blue House. There is no entrance fee for music and activities. Freshly made wood-fired pizza will be available for purchase, along with a full selection of Heron Hill wines by the bottle or by the glass, and a selection of New York craft beer. Good
Beer,
times there.
wine, fall.
The thing about this is it's not Heron Hill Winery, which is over on Cuca Lake.
Right.
This is at the tasting room at Bristol,
This is the
so
tasting room
don't be
at Bristol.
confused if you're going.
It's at Ingle Vineyard, overlooking Canandaigua Lake.
And Heron Hill they have 2 tasting rooms, one in Himrod.
Yes.
And one in Bristol, and then their original winery, which is such a beautiful
It is.
winery on Cuca
really
Lake. So, just some clarification there.
Well, have any of you ever wondered who is buried at Washington Street Cemetery?
Ooh.
Have you?
No.
Me either. If you have, or even if you haven't, if you want to know, join the Geneva Historical Society and the Founders Square Neighborhood Association this weekend for guided tours of the cemetery, including stories about Geneva's past. Tours are Friday at 6:30, 7:30, and 8:30 p.m., and Saturday at 1, 2, and 3 p.m. Reservations are strongly encouraged for all tours as space is limited. Tickets are $5 per person. For more information or to make a reservation, call the Geneva Historical Society at 315-789-5151. I didn't mean to make that sound like it was a spooky tour. I don't know that it is.
I think
I
it is.
really felt like
Is it?
that's the way it was going.
Oh, good.
It's October.
Space is limited.
It's October.
Okay, Historic Palmyra invites you to take an amazing journey into the land of the dead for their annual cemetery walk on Saturday night from 6 to 7:30. Really? And again at 9 p.m. 6 to 7:30 and again at 9. $15 per person. And get your second ticket for half price. Children are $8. You can buy children there for $8. I believe that's an entry fee and must be accompanied by an adult. More information is at historicpalmyranewyork.com.
Must be that time of year.
Yeah.
For cemetery walks.
Right?
Hey,
Should've
you know,
done
why
this all in
not?
that voice.
Why not show up at one of these 2 things for an hour and take a cemetery walk and then continue on with your evening?
Yeah.
I've never been on a cemetery walk.
Why don't they do that at night, though?
This is at
These
night.
are at night. Look
6:30?
It gets
6:30
dark
is
at
not night.
6 to
now.
7:30 is dark. And
Right
then
now,
again, look at
6:30
this one again at
is
9.
dusk.
You
Yes.
want, Josh, I dare you to go at 9 p.m. I dare you. Do it. HistoricPalmyraNewYorkNY.com. Okay. You could also head down to Fulkerson Winery on Route 14 in Dundee, where you can pick apples and grapes, both. You went apple picking, I assume.
Yes,
I saw some
and
pictures.
grapes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, they were grapes too. Well, this is.
I've never gone grape picking, but
Me
I
either.
love grapes off the vine. That's why I was thinking. That's why
Oh, so
I thought
good.
this would be a good
Yeah,
one
you
to
can
add.
pick apples
Yep.
and grapes at Fulkerson Winery on Route 14 from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., so there's no chance of spookiness. And that's on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And their website, you can read more about that at fulkersonwinery.com. And
Great.
as always, more events on our community calendar.
Yes.
Probably a lot more spooky.
There's got to be
events,
other
too.
events going on too this weekend all over
Yeah.
the place.
Sure.
Smaller, bigger,
Oh, yeah.
smaller.
Yep. I'm
Fall
sure there's
activities.
lots of live music at wineries and stuff like that.
There always is, and it just
Yeah.
don't include a lot of those because there's so much. Every winery has some sort of live music
Isn't
offering
this
at some
prime
point.
time for hay rides and things like that?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
pumpkin patches and corn mazes
Yeah.
I went to a pumpkin patch over the weekend.
and haunts.
Did
was
you?
that?
It was great. I got lost at a maze.
Which one
Oh.
did you go to?
Meadville.
Meadville Pumpkin
Yeah.
Oh, I
Farm.
haven't been to that one.
Yeah.
Fun.
They have a burlap maze.
Would you rather go pumpkin patching or apple picking if you had your choice?
Ooh, pumpkin
Ap-
patching.
I'd go apple picking.
I'd go apple picking.
It's more of
too.
an active
I don't
activity.
know.
Pumpkin patching is totally passive.
Yeah,
Pumpkins are already picked.
they're all sitting there, and then there's like
It's about the search, though.
That's right. You got to find the perfect one. I'm with you.
You have to find. You have to find the perfect
The one that fits
pumpkin.
you, right?
apple picking. There's usually a lot better food there too.
Yeah.
The
Yes, that's
Lafayette
true.
Apple Fest is a good one to go to. I think we probably missed that. It was maybe last weekend.
Yeah.
Oh.
So was Ithaca. That was.
Ithaca's
last.
Apple Fest, but yeah, those are the two main things.
missed
But
it.
great picking at Fulkerson.
Ooh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love it. So yummy.
So
Yep. So you can make some pies, Jessamy.
Great pies.
All right, Jim, what's going on in sports this week?
Sports. The Buffalo Bills, the red-hot Buffalo Bills, will be looking for their fourth straight win when they return home to New Era Stadium to face the San Francisco 49ers at 1 o'clock on Sunday. That game will be on CBS. Colin Kaepernick starting for the 49ers for the first time this year, and you may know Colin Kaepernick for such controversies as the not standing for the national anthem.
Right.
Yep.
So we'll see how the fans at New Era Stadium, formerly Rich Stadium, greet Colin Kaepernick on Sunday. And the Bills are heavy favorites, so that could be five in a row. They'd be 5-2 after losing their first two. So the Syracuse Orange will host an old Big East rival on Saturday at 3:45 when the Virginia Tech Hokies visit the Carrier Dome. The game will be televised on ESPNU. Yeah, Syracuse. That's going to be a tough one for Syracuse. And it used to be a rivalry, but since they went to the ACC, this is the first time they've played them since they've been in the ACC for 3 years now, and they won't play them again after this until 2021.
Oh wow!
So it's kind of ridiculous. I don't consider them rivals anymore. I'm not a Virginia Tech fan. One of my least favorite teams/schools.
Ouch.
So the 3-1 Cornell Big Red football team will host Sacred Heart at 1:30 on Saturday at Shokoff Field in Ithaca. You can listen to the game on WHCU 95.9 FM or 870 AM. Cornell dropped their first game of the year against Harvard last week. Try to get back on the winning track. And the Ithaca Bombers are at Brockport for a 1 p.m. kickoff on Saturday. And the 5-1 Hobart Statesmen are off this weekend after losing their first game of the year to Rensselaer last week. And if you can believe it, it's already the final weekend of the regular season for local high school football teams. All the Wayne Finger Lakes teams are in action on Friday night. Victor hosts Webster Thomas. Canandaigua's at East Ridge. E.R. Gananda hosts Geneva. Waterloo will be up in Ontario to face Wayne. Mid-Lakes will be at Palmac. Red Jacket visits Marcus Whitman. Minders hosts Dundee. Newark hosts Penn Yan. And Clyde Savannah will host Batavia at Durcola Field in Clyde.
Hard to believe it's almost done.
It's a very short season in high school football. They only play they don't play many games.
7 or 8 games?
Jeez, at the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We didn't have football in my school, so I guess I never realized. That's a really
At Prattsburgh,
short
you're a soccer school, right?
Soccer and basketball, yeah.
Huh.
Yep. Basketball most, I think that they're mean.
Oh, I got to give a heartfelt congratulations to
Oh, that's right.
the Minders Academy Blue Devils girls tennis team for capturing the Section 5 Class CC championship last night by defeating the North Rose Wolcott Cougars. In that picture, you can see in the top row head coach Mike Merriam, who this weekend was inducted in the Minders Academy Athletic Hall of Fame, and you can watch that whole webcast on our site, 2 hours and 46 minutes. His speech was one of the best, so if you can find where he is and watch it. Then you got Emily Bogart, Lily Redding, Meredith Perrine, Rachel Sullivan, Samantha Punt, and Coach Gus Garnsey. Bottom row, you got Maddie Lynch, Jessica Pierce, and Sarah Special K. Kohlberger. We'll have all the results of the football games that I mentioned before and all sports-related items at fingerlakes1.com throughout the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Minders tennis.
I know.
2 in a row.
That's awesome.
2 in a row sectional titles. Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coach Merriam, Hall of Famer.
You go, girlfriends.
Ooh.
All right, let's jump into some top local photos this week.
A lot of them this week.
There are. Ted Flock shared this photo of a New York State Canal Corporation tugboat pulling barges by the Trinity Episcopal Church on Van Cleef Lake on a beautiful Wednesday afternoon in Seneca Falls.
That's what tugboats do best.
Pull barges.
Pull barges. That's what they're for. Tugging things.
Tug. Robert Stopper sent us this scene of the double lock E56 just west of Lyons, which was a blaze of color on Thursday morning. Yeah. Lock E56, sometimes called the Poorhouse Lock, was a lock on the enlarged Erie Canal and last used in 1917. A little piece of history there for you.
Probably haunted.
Yeah.
That's an amazing picture.
Yeah,
wow.
The foliage had turned there. This was from last week, and it looks like the foliage is ahead of the game there.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Great shot. Pat O'Connell reports that Thursday was a perfect early October day for a peaceful walk through Fillmore Glen State Park in Moravia.
And there's no foliage.
I know.
No, and honestly, the photos were taken about the same time, probably.
Wow.
Within the past few days.
Well, I actually saw this sunset from Canandaigua, but next up, the colorful sunset photographed by Rachel Burkholder illuminated the boathouses at the north end of Canandaigua Lake on Saturday evening. It was like pink and purple when I saw it. It was so beautiful that night.
There's even another one from Rachel later that we're going to see of the same sunset, and she does an amazing job.
That picture's awesome.
Yeah. It's my second favorite one that she sent this week, so stay tuned.
Ooh, okay. Well, maybe up next, the day before, on Friday, Rachel was in Union Springs, where there was just enough water at Great Gully to catch a leaf swirl.
This is my third favorite one Rachel sent, but that's so cool. Pretty cool, too.
So cool.
In Union Springs.
Great job, Rachel. And this was the view of Keuka Lake from the deck at the Dr. Constantine Frank Winery in Hammondsport on Saturday, as captured by our own lead designer, Tom Pratty. Gorgeous.
And that's just an example of, an average view around here. I mean, we take it for granted. That's even with the cloud cover, that's very nice.
Yep, it's gorgeous. Let's see. Via Twitter, Sean Hamilton sent us this shot of the chilly sunrise over Canandaigua Lake on Tuesday morning. It does look chilly, doesn't it?
It was freezing on Tuesday morning. I mean, it was, about 40 degrees probably? That was cold.
It was chilly. And finally,
this is the one.
Uh-oh.
Get ready.
Drum roll, please.
Wow. Okay.
Here's an incredible shot by Rachel Burkholder of a lone boat heading to shore on Canandaigua Lake under an amazing sky at sunset on Saturday evening. Wow. The purple and yellow.
Just everything
Blue,
is illuminated
purple,
with that
pretty
sunset-y color. Orangish red. It's nice.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
And how pleasant must it have been to be on that particular boat right there heading for shore.
I know. Getting one of the last boating days in, probably.
Now, Jessamy, as a photographer yourself, how hard is it to capture scenes like this where the lighting is important? Do you just snap it and it happens automatically, or is she doing something different?
She might be working with multiple exposures and then combining them later.
Oh.
It's called HDR. You get a higher dynamic range that way.
I don't think that's the case with this one.
No,
though.
not this one.
But,
Maybe the other
I've
one.
seen Kevin Colton
the first
does a
one
lot
she
of
showed.
that. Yeah.
That might have used that. This one looks like just a single frame, and it's not easy. You gotta know what you're doing, but it's beautiful. She did a great job.
Gorgeous. Well, great photos, everyone. And if you'd like to share your local photos from across the region, click on the link in the Submit Content section at the bottom right-hand side of our homepage here at FingerLakes1.com. There's a good chance you'll see your photo in next week's show.
Or tweet it at us, or tag us. We'll find it. We'll post it. We'll include it in the show.
Absolutely. All right. So what's going on this week at FingerLakes1.com?
Well, as far as what's going on in the network here at FingerLakes1.tv, Weber, this week on Monday we had Del Lago Casino folks in again. We get regular updates from them, and we had GM Jeff Babinski in, and then for the first time we had James Rafferty, the Vice President of Marketing, was in studio as well, and we learned about some of their plans for marketing the casino, and also the fact that things are really coming together, and that February 1st they're going to open, and that is not long from now.
Amazing.
No.
November, December, January, so we got about 3.5 months, and the casino and tire open. So that's an interesting show.
Yeah.
I'd recommend it. I'd also recommend we had another edition of Walt Gable's Our Finger Lakes History, where this subject was cobblestone homes of the Finger Lakes, which if you watch this, you'll see pictures of tons of homes you recognize from all over the region, a lot of them in Phelps, all over the region. And it's very interesting to learn from Walt Gable, how they were constructed and the different styles. It's about 25 minutes long, and you'll really enjoy it. And then a little heads up, coming up at the end of the month, a special edition of Our Finger Lakes History, where he looks at haunted places in the Finger Lakes ahead of Halloween. So I think that's not next Monday, but the Monday after,
Right.
I believe. So Kenny's Two Pennies was, he had some opinions on things. Crash Course had some demolition derby drivers in the studio. They were in like Utah and Ohio. Those guys go all over the place. The 31st lap tomorrow night is going to recap Super Dirt Week in Oswego at 7 o'clock. And I mentioned the Miners Athletics Hall of Fame ceremony, which can be viewed in its entirety. And inside the FLX tomorrow at 2, we have Brad Jones focusing on obesity.
Obesity, health, fitness, and the Finger Lakes.
So, and that's at live at 2 o'clock.
Yep.
So, yep.
Wonderful. All right. Sounds like lots of good stuff. So, have you been out? Have you been able to find your favorite spot this year?
For foliage viewing?
Yes.
Not yet, but I will. I'll get my
It's
camera
coming.
out and get one of my pictures up there on the weekly list.
Now
Look
that
at
Tom
us
has
now.
one on.
Yeah, now I gotta keep up. I gotta keep up with the Proudies. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
How
I will
close
find
are
my
we?
favorite
How
spot.
are we getting near peak? Because it doesn't really
I
seem
don't know
like it.
because this year is so different.
Depends on which picture you look at. That one was like intense.
We need
the
to
lock picture.
Post the New York State has a calendar or a
Yeah.
map that shows where the peak is across the state, and I bet you they're at peak up north.
Yeah.
I bet you we're about a week, maybe a week and a half away from peak
When
here.
I looked at it at the beginning of the week, we were just starting on that.
And I thought it would come early this year because of the dry summer, but I love being out on the golf course when the leaves are changing. It just is amazing. Depending on which course you're on. Reservoir Creek in Naples is a pretty good one if you really enjoy foliage and want to play some golf.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, any golf course this time of year, it's great. And a lot of people hang up the clubs in September, but you are missing out on some fall golf. And I should mention at Seneca Falls Country Club, they got a special in October, 18 holes for $18 with a cart. 18 for 18.
That's $1 a hole
Oh, great.
Yep, with a cart.
with a cart.
That's
Cart's
a steal.
free.
That's cool.
Pretty much.
That is a steal.
And you get to enjoy all the beautiful fall foliage.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then the wine trails are probably the number one place, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Any view over the lake. Going home to my hometown, Prattsburg. There's so many hills.
Hills, yeah.
Oh,
nice
it's
there.
just so breathtaking.
Canandaigua
So
and Cuca
gorgeous.
Lake also great for foliage viewing because
Yep.
of the hillside. Seneca and Cuga and Owasco a little more flat and Skinny Atlas, but
Yeah.
so
Yeah, Cuca is beautiful. too.
anywhere outside.
Anywhere outside. You can't go wrong. Yep.
I love
All
the
right.
foliage, as long as it's not on the ground.
Yeah. And then you have to do
Then I
work.
gotta rake it. Don't care for that.
Do your kids jump in the leaf piles,
Yes, and they're both allergic, so
Oh,
it's a nightmare.
no.
They won't stay away.
though? Oh.
Good times.
That's not fun.
Shake your head, Josh.
Well, I guess that about wraps it up for us today. Thanks for joining us live for another edition of FLX Weekly. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, please be sure to subscribe. And if you'd like to drop us a line, send an email to contact@fingerlakes1.com. If you enjoy our show, please share with your friends.
Tell your
them-
friends, say,
Yeah.
I saw this really awesome show. You should watch it. Go to fingerlakes1.com or fingerlakes1.tv or subscribe on YouTube or get the free fingerlakes1.com Android or iPhone apps.
So many
Yeah,
ways.
and you'll get alerted.
You have no excuse.
Yeah, make us a part of your week.
Yeah, we have fun being here, so we hope you enjoy it as well. We'll be back live next Wednesday afternoon at 12:30 for another edition of FLX Weekly. Enjoy the rest of your week and weekend in the Finger Lakes.